French press. It's one of the oldest and simplest ways to brew coffee. Actually, it's like one of my personal faves on the weekend. It's personal. It gives you that robust mouthfeel, that lingering kind of oiliness to it. And actually, it makes me feel fancy as hell. But one thing that all my homegirls and all my fam talk about is those grinds that end up at the bottom of your cup. If you're like me, I know you don't want to have a mouthful of grinds at the end of your coffee cup. But what if I told you that I had a quick, easy trick to get rid of those fine grinds at the end? I call it the pull-out method. Follow me to the kitchen. Not that pull-out method. That one's only 80% effective and 1 out of 5 chances you're gonna end up with a baby. Not that one, guys. Come on. Let's give you a quick glazed over history of the French press. Despite its name, it's actually Italian. In 1929, it was patented in Milan, Italy. It became the rave brew method for everyone in Italy. But over time, it got a whole bunch of upgrades. It was redone so many times, and it actually ended up being made in a clarinet factory in France. So in 1958, it donned its new name, the French press. So I know you guys are wondering, what is the pull-out method? All it is one other step that's going to make sure we get all the fine coffee grounds out of the French press. So that way you have a smoother cup. So let's get into it. Okay, guys, let me give you a list of some of the things you're going to need so we can do the pull-out method. Of course, first and foremost, you're going to need a French press. Today, I'm using the typical French press that everybody's used to seeing. This is an 8-cup Bodum. You can get this at Walmart. You can get this at Target. Any local store you go to, you're going to be able to get this. But I'm going to make sure I link below where you can find this at. We are going to be using, of course, clean water. Filtered water is the best water to use for this method. You're going to need some type of tool to boil your water on. I have a kettle here. If you have one of those normal kettles that you use at home, that's okay to use. We're going to need coarse ground coffee. The reason why you're going to use coarse ground coffee is because once you immerse these beans into water, you don't want those fine grinds getting through there. And of course, I'm going to show you guys a demonstration of how coarse you're going to need this ground, because if you're like me, I can show you better than I can tell you. And of course, the part that makes this the pull-out method, you're going to need a fine mesh film. Don't worry, guys. I'm going to link below where I actually got mine from. This one's from Amazon, but there's some other options and more cost-effective options for you guys. And then you're going to need a separate carafe. This is going to be a part of the last step that makes this the pull-out method. Starting with the clean French press, you're going to take 8 level cups of coarsely ground coffee. Of course, with Mama's Brew, we're not using any scales right now. Once you guys get more into the journey with me, we'll go into that. But right now, we're going to use what's in our kitchen. So we're going to take the scoop that came with the French press and take 8 rounded out scoops and 8. We're just going to make sure those are flat at the bottom. Make them even, because once you put the water over, you want to make sure all your ground coffee gets wet. Now we're going to use our clean filtered water and we're going to boil it on our kettle. We're going to use our microwave timer to set our 4 minutes. Like I said, we're going to utilize everything in the kitchen. Remember the 4-4 rule. After the initial 4 minutes, we're gonna plunge it and add 4 more minutes to let the brew kind of simmer a little bit. So here we go. And plunge it slowly. Okay guys, we've done a normal French press. We've plunged it, it's settled, now it's time to drink. But where does the foot pull-out method come into play? This is where the extra mesh filter and the extra carafe come into play. So what you're gonna do is take your already ready French press coffee, and what we're gonna do is slowly pour it through here. That way, before you pour it into your mug, we get rid of all those grinds that get through here. So here we go. And by doing this, we're getting rid of all those little fine grinds that usually make it through. And we still get to have like that oily kind of lingering mouthfeel that we all enjoy with the French press. And we just let it flow through there. So all the great feelings of the French press without those pesky grinds getting through there. Okay guys, we have done our traditional French press. We've poured it through the mesh filter. Let me show you what you're gonna see after everything has gone through that mesh filter. Pull it up. Look at that. Look at that. Those are the grounds that you usually will have in your cup. But once you put it through here, it's going to get rid of all those fine grinds that are usually in your cup. So you're still going to get that nice, oily, kind of lingering mouthfeel that you love from a French press without getting all those fine grinds that always seem to find a way past the French press. So let's pour a cup. And then I'll show you guys better than I can tell you. And then we'll pour the rest from the pull-out method. And you can see, guys, it leaves such a cleaner cup. All those fine grinds that you usually see in your cup are left in this mesh filter. Look at that. So no matter how coarse some people grind their coffee, unless you're sifting it through something, you're going to get those fine grinds. Why not just pour it through a filter to get them out right before you enjoy your cup? And guys, once you're done enjoying this cup, take a look for yourself after doing the pull-out method. Nothing. So usually those grounds or that little sludge that you usually get at the bottom of your cup, it's gone. So you still get that oily cup, but there's no coffee grounds left. And of course, the specks that you see in there, that's from this cup, the pottery of this cup, but clean. So if you're like me and you like to enjoy a French press, you'll enjoy doing that extra step because you're going to get that mouthfeel. You're going to get that sweetness, that oily, robust flavor that you like without swallowing a whole cup full of coffee grounds. And ladies and gentlemen, that's the pull-out method. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know what you think in the comments. Subscribe. I'm going to leave all the links below of all the things that I used today to make this whole experience happen right in your house. So thank you guys for joining me for the pull-out method.